Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our community. She's new to America Pro, and today we're having a beautiful Luba as a guest, and we know Luba as a host. And today I am honored to have her as a guest. And with this episode, we're gonna start our series about her journey in the U.S., and we will be inviting beautiful members from our community who lived in the U.S. more than 5 years, and we will cover very simple 3 steps: past, present, and future. We will talk about where we were before we came to the US and where we are right now and where we will be moving forward in the next 5-10 years, where we want to be. We will talk about dreams and hopes for the future. So, Luba, mic is yours. How are you?
Hi, Azhar. Thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to see you and to talk to you. I'm doing great, actually, doing amazing. Just kind of survived a little tornado warning here in North Texas. So it's a very different from California where I used to live because here is like a bipolar weather that we have in April, apparently.
Mhm.
So today is very cold. Yesterday was very hot. And in between, we get like a bunch of wind and storms.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. It's been busy, and in Boise, Idaho is right now beautiful spring. What I love about Boise that the weather is very certain, so there is no spikes. Like there's no hot, there's no cold. It's very, I would say, normal weather.
Mild,
Nothing
mild.
mild. Yeah,
But you got
mild.
like all the 4 seasons, right?
We do have 4
Yeah,
seasons, but
love
I think it's not too cold during winter and it's not too hot during summer. So what I love about it,
This is
about
perfect. I
Boise.
miss my California weather, and I'm gonna fly out tomorrow to California for a week. So I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to not to be here. Sorry, Texas.
Yeah. So how
Yeah.
long did you live in California?
So California was my first state, if I don't count like 2 weeks in New York City.
Mhm.
Then yeah, I moved to LA. I came to America back in January 2016. So this year it's been 10 years. Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
yeah.
Looking back, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm old. I feel like half of the time was like kind of erased by the pandemic because it was kind of a blackout period. So it doesn't feel like 10 years. But yeah, 10 years ago, I landed in Los Angeles with 2 suitcases and a little bit of money and like a 3 months plan what I'm gonna be doing. And yeah, I spent about like majority of my time was in California. I was kind of leaving and coming back, and the total would be probably like 6-7 years. And then I lived a little bit in Mexico. That was for the pandemic, and that's when I got married for a little bit. And then we moved to North Carolina to Raleigh. And also I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada. And yeah, but most of the like Los Angeles has been always my home. And this recent 2 years, I moved to Fort Worth, Texas.
2 years. Okay. Okay. So you lived in quite a few areas, and as I'm hearing you right, the favorite one is California because of the weather. No surprises. But how do you like lifestyle in Texas?
It's very different from downtown LA.
Mhm.
I'll tell you that much. Well, the biggest change that I experienced was me becoming a mother. So I gave birth to my son. He's 18 months old now. And this is why, I guess it was the reason why we moved to Texas, because we wanted to have like a bigger house and some backyard and more of a like family-like opportunity. Because again, I lived in downtown LA in a loft. So that was not exactly like, a baby-friendly situation.
Right.
And not the safest place either, So the Texas lifestyle where I'm at right now, it's very suburban, it's very white and very American. So that's a big change from like a gentrified big city life. But I like it. I like it mostly. I think like right now is the season in my life that I'm a little bit of a homebody. I dedicate myself to my son. So I like my home. I don't really leave much. I have made some friends among moms in here. We have some little groups that we get together with the babies and we go to playgrounds and stuff like that. So it's totally like super chill and slower than like a big city. But I'm thinking like Most likely, we will see if we're gonna stay here
Oh,
longer or go back. Again, it's a season, the baby is growing up. So
yeah,
the question is like, I think, what's the best opportunities for him and for myself? So
yeah,
yeah, we'll see.
absolutely. And I think we can talk about dreams and hopes a little bit later. But right now, I want to talk about you, Luba, who came to the US. But before you came to the US, who you were and what did you do? And you can just bring maybe one of the best, like, what was your day, one day of your life, like how it looks like, and before you come to the US?
Okay, yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Moscow. I was born in Moscow, born and raised. I went to Moscow State University, graduated, and then I got into music a lot. Like I always loved music. So I was in a live music business, first as a journalist, then as a promoter, and then an agency owner. I would say my life in there was really chill. I never like really held much of a full-time job, like, quote
Mhm.
unquote. I was more entrepreneurial in that sense. And the way I think I still like to work is more like a projects kind of base. So I would say it would really depend on like in which stage I was. So if it was, for example, promoting and organizing a big event, then you would find me like waking up at 5 a.m., like going to the event place, going to the venue, setting it up, like working on everything, the marketing, the promotions, whatever. Like I would be standing like selling tickets if it was needed, right? And then I
Mhm.
probably would not sleep. And then, it was like a lot of like preparation because of the nature of that business. And then it passes, like it has a deadline. And after that, I will usually like take some, maybe a month or two off. So that would
Mhm.
be a very different vibe. So maybe I would travel or just, kind of relax.
Yeah.
I think like that would be a good explanation what I've been doing because again,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. So this would be like two different kind of days that I might be.
Yeah, I love the idea of being flexible when you can work hard and then you done and you done, you can chill and then just change everything and just go back to work when you're ready for that. That's
Yeah.
sounds like a dream job. I always dream about that.
That's kind of like what I'm coming back to, like now is
Mhm.
starting my own business. Like that's exactly kind of the vibe that I love and experienced before. And it's just so important, for mental health and physical health to have these breaks.
What was the biggest lessons learned from this life that you had before the US and you brought this and it's very like helpful right now to you that you remember that lesson is like, okay, I know this and it helps me.
Yeah, I think like definitely being in the event space, and I know that you also yourself were in the event space and worked in that. So that's something that I always call like a huge school of entrepreneurship because you
Uh-huh.
have like absolutely everything that you need to set up and you have a deadline. And if you did not do something, well, probably like your whole project will not be successful, right? So
Yes.
I recently learned this term. It's called, I think, pinch and having the necessity of like doing everything and do it pretty well. I think like that was my biggest school ever because
Um,
now whatever project I would get and like I would get in my corporate life, I would get in my personal life, it's kind of always like the autopilot of how looking at things and doing anything in my life really.
Yeah, I love this example that you brought that you have only one shot.
Mhm.
So you need to prepare and there is no other chances to fix it and you have only one shot. And I always admire people who can do this like perfectly, this one shot opportunity.
Mhm.
And it's events and I think it's I think events it's the biggest one when there's no harm to people, but at the same time, if you fail, it's gonna be very obvious. And
Yeah.
being successful in event it's kind of very high standard of like high bar to achieve this level of project management.
Yeah, absolutely was a very fulfilled when the events, thankfully, most of them
Yeah.
were good. So I would be like so fulfilled when seeing all this crowd, people coming there, and all the emotions that they've been experienced. Like I always say that in the events, we just in the business of emotions, and
Uh-huh.
that would be the line that I would also apply into other work as well. Like more I got into marketing, right? It's more about how you make another person feel. And just having this like thousands of people in the venue experiencing the same like joy in the same moment, like I miss that so much.
That's a kind of dopamine that you can get, and it's only, I think it's one of a kind dopamine that you can get.
Yeah,
It's very rare when you
totally.
can get this
My
set with
gosh,
the
we need to get like an event for the community and bring
Yes,
everybody together.
100%. It's one of my dreams that I have for
Mhm.
1 year anniversary, when we can have like big event and invite all our guest speakers, members, and then just celebrate this 1 year. That
Gosh,
would be
you got
beautiful.
me on board. You got me on
Yeah.
board, girl. Let's do it.
Hopefully, I hope we can do it. And that will be like my biggest, I think right now, the biggest this excitement that I can get from doing something that it's just brings this joy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And Luba, I know you're very, I would say, goal-oriented person. And I follow you on Instagram. I follow you on Threads and LinkedIn. And the way how you continue pursuing your dream and your goals, even though there is no deadline, right? There is no event that's coming soon that you need to be
Mhm.
prepared. What drives you right now? And we can move to present and what's going on in your life right now? What moves you so passionate? So what makes you so passionate in the morning that you will be waking up and working so hard until midnight and continue driving? What do you do?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in a such interesting period of my life right now. So I've been transitioning and exiting the corporate job and starting my own business. I'm building the efficiency sprint. It's the 90 days deep dive framework to help founders to exit operations. And there is just so much. I would say what really like fulfills me, because I went through this. I kind of like went through this path.
Mhm.
Okay. So since like I went through this path and I kind of exited operations myself, and in 1 year built the systems that and replaced myself, I think now I'm just so motivated to do it for other people because of the way I started feeling once I realized that things can run without my personal involvement on a day-to-day basis. I kind
Uh-huh.
of like want to share this feeling. I'm like, oh, it can be cool. Like it
That's
makes me happy. It makes me happy because like now I have more creative energy. I have more time for my son, for my family. And once that became my realization, I think like what happened was I have this enormous motivation to share it with other people. And as I'm building this product, there's kind of like such an interesting creative process of just building it. And there are more sub products emerge. Like we started the founder launch, which is packaging founders for posting the content on different social media. And then we started implementing a lot of AI automations. And then now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I want to match the founders with a second in command. So that's coming up. So it's like it's a very creative process that just, motivates and makes me happy. And as for
uh-huh.
deadlines, like I think like I'm big on kind of establishing them in my head, even if nobody tells me. I go like, okay, you know what? Like in 3 months, and I put like pretty like ambitious things. Like I want to buy another house. So like I want
Um,
to buy another house by the fall. Yeah, it lives only in my head, but it drives me. And like the worst that can happen is that you can probably not achieve it to the 100%, but you might achieve it to a 50%. But if we
right.
do not put these ambitious goals and ambitious deadlines, then most likely we would get like to 10 or 20%. So that's kind
Uh-huh.
of philosophy behind that.
That's really helpful to have something like set the high goal, and then whenever you achieve, it's gonna be better than achieving nothing.
Exactly, absolutely. And like another thing that I've been telling to my friends and in my social media is that I think we all need to have at least a 3 years plan, 3, 5 years vision. Not exactly the plan, like, but you need to have like you need to see your next steps for maybe 2, 3 months. And once you have a big purpose, a big vision, this is where you break it down, and then you can see whatever those 60, 90 days will look like. This things that you need to do, they do not look as difficult as you might have thought they would be, because compared to your big goal, like this becomes like small steps.
Right. That's very. I mean, I think we need to, for our guests who are listening right now, our audience. It's the one of the things what we want to achieve through this podcast is to get some insights and tips and tricks that you can use later on. And it's great that Luba is sharing generously with us. Thank you so much for sharing your secrets. And one of the another things that I have in my mind when I look at you as a professional woman who succeed. So I would describe you as someone who achieved the goal, like being a COO, like and in a short time. And I know you stayed in one company. It's very hard to stay in one company and continue growing and continue leveling up yourself. That's the very hard journey. I know non-linear careers, sometimes it's easier to go from one place to another place and get higher position, but being consistent in one place, it always, again, as I said, it shows your character that you can stay in one place and grow. So what would be your, let's say, 3 ingredients? What helped you to be successful in what you do what you achieved in your corporate career? And what would you recommend? So it's like 3 ingredients in your recipe from Luke.
Okay, well, I'm very grateful for the opportunity that the business owner, Azhar Imanakunova, gave to me. And I want to thank him because finding a mentor, finding somebody who is like 10 steps ahead of you and learning from him, that's a great opportunity that anybody should have, anybody should seek in their career. And I've learned so much from this person. I think that would be the first ingredient. The second one is what I learned is never give up. We have this funny picture where there's a frog and there's like a big bird eating that frog, and it just says never give up.
Wow.
So even you being eaten, you're still there, you still have a chance, and it's okay. That's the resilience. And I think we as immigrants all have that quality, and we really need to respect it about ourselves. That's the resilience.
Never give up.
And the third thing, I think I was fortunate enough, like you said, the non-linear part, since my company was a holding company, there was always something new to do. So I was able to kind of jump between different areas of expertise. I started in marketing, then I got into product, then into operations and IT, and there was just like always something else, something new to build, something new to learn. So I think like finding a place where you have that flexibility and freedom to achieve more and learn more different things, this is where you really can become this kind of a generalist who understand the business from the inside rather than, just staying within one specialty.
Right. And you need to have this curiosity. I think it's in order to be like open for the new roles and continue learning. Don't be scared of take a new task, because I know a lot of professionals, they want to continue doing what they know and they're good at, but trying new path, trying new roles, I think it's really I would say distinguish you as a professional. This is
I
really.
think it really depends on the character, maybe a little bit on the confidence, because like there is no recipe to that. Like if you don't know something, it's just because you haven't tried. Like whenever a person tells me, somebody says like, I don't know how to do it. I'm like, I don't know either, but I'm gonna learn. Like it's okay,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. And I don't know if it's the confidence or whatever stops people from not trying new things, because we all were at the same position at some point. Even the biggest specialist in the field, there was time when they didn't know anything. So if you don't try, you're not gonna learn, so you're never gonna get anywhere. Like I
Yeah.
think it's simple as that.
It's a mindset. I agree. I mean, I think it's a mindset how we see the same opportunity. For someone as a threat, with someone it's opportunity. So the fact is something like new. You can look at this and it's like, oh, it's the opportunity for me. Let me try and let me get it. Let me try. And again, if it's not
Yeah.
gonna work, never give up. It's the second recipe or second ingredient. Never give up. Just continue moving forward.
Right, because failure is a part of a journey. Like failure
Mhm.
is something that now I love because I look at it like, oh, that's a lesson learned. Okay, cool. Like probably I'm not gonna do it again. Thank you so much. Like it gets me grateful when I fail at something.
Wow, that's really strong. That's really strong. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think we audience is the ladies and women in corporate world, right? You were a guest speaker, one of our guest speakers,
Mhm.
and a community. And I remember your tips and recommendations or suggestions for, and if you can just bring a couple of them, like the strongest one that you would think will help young women in the corporate world, they just started their career. What would you recommend in order to start right, like with the right mindset, and what they need to do, like how to approach? Is it something that they need to work a lot, work hard, or what?
Well, you need to advocate for yourself. You always need to be more visible. Try to be more visible, but like don't be afraid to take the room, but always learn how to read the room. So don't do too much. It's a little bit of a subtle art, that like you have to balance certain things. We definitely, I think like I broke it down a little deeper. I don't exactly like, I don't think I'm gonna, cover it at all, but you shouldn't be afraid of being visible. I think this is very important. You always need to find and get into the relationships with the key people. I always say about it,
Mhm.
like many times you would be, and some of the girls we talked, and some friends like go like, oh, I don't know, like how do I get that promotion? And I would ask like a simple question. I'm like, who do you talk to? What are the decision rights? Like find out who makes decisions and try to talk to them. Many times you might be just talking to wrong people. And then always like document your wins. Make sure that you take the credit. You
Right.
take the credit for everything that you've done. And I think like one of the most important things that I said was connect your performance to P&L, connect it
Uh-huh.
to the metrics, because whenever we make decisions and make decisions on the financial terms, well, the company is being looked at as the profit and loss statement and QuickBooks in the end of the day. So you got to be able to advocate what value you really bring to the company and how it affects the P&L.
Mhm. That's very strong, I think, recommendation suggestion. Like to see like what you do, it brings the value to the company. Like, is it moving the needle? Like, it's optimizing their resources or bringing the additional revenue. Sometimes we
Mhm.
don't think about it. We work on a lot of stuff and then end up being like not promoted because we were working so hard, but everything what we did or we've done, it's not necessarily should be done. So that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really insightful.
No, you might be a victim of bad management as well. Like
Mhm.
that's something we don't talk enough, I think.
Right.
But you need to apply your own common sense
Mhm.
and always ask the question, like always try to find the bigger picture, like always try to understand where the company is going and what's the real goals of this company where you're working, and then think, well, I just managed, I don't know, replied to 5 emails today. Like, did that move the needle? Maybe not,
Mhm.
right? I
Mhm.
had, or like people say like, oh, I have so many meetings. I'm like, what's the point of your meetings?
Right.
So apply common sense and like not be afraid, to have your boundaries as well, I would say. Like if you feel that you're not fulfilling the purpose and something is not going right, try to speak up and maybe make decisions.
Yes, that's so true. Sometimes we can be the victim of bad managers, which is unfortunately very common. Sometimes very common. Sometimes it's not common. But we need to think with our own brain and have a common sense. Like, is it right things to do and challenge the
And I
task?
think, like, just in many times, Azhar, it's always, and of course, it depends on the
Mhm.
company and situation, but the manager of the manager might be very happy to hear your opinion coming from. Maybe they're not happy with that manager that you have, right?
Mhm.
And if somebody comes and kind of presents a maybe alternative point of view, it might be good. Like that's why I
Mhm.
always say, like, read the room, understand the relationships, see that maybe there can be opportunity.
Yeah, very strong. Powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Luba. And I want to, I think, point for ladies who's listening this podcast or comments. Just drop the in the comment section below, like any questions. We will read through and then try to answer. And happy to do that. And yeah, now we're moving to future about where you see yourself and what you're dreaming about, and if you're open to share. Like, what's your biggest dream right now? Like, where are you going?
Well, as I'm like in the weeds building my own company, kind of, I guess I'm thinking in pretty big numbers. Like I'm gonna say what they are, but like I'm hoping like in 5 years it would be something very substantial. And I think like my after having my baby, my vision became just building a generational wealth in terms of like I'm not even looking at like a year, 3 years, 5 years. I'm trying to look further. I'm trying to think about my son's life. I want to set him up with the better opportunities. I think like that's my dream right now, to give him the best I can. And I know that right now he's 18 months, so maybe I have like about 15 years to do so, right? So I feel like this is the time of my life when I really need to step up, and I still have a lot of energy, and I'm still kind of young, but we're aging, we're millennials, so there's a Gen Z right there. So I feel like this is the time. Like I have this feeling that I need to do something. So yeah, my dream would be build up this generational wealth and make sure that my baby has it better than I did.
That's so sweet. And I know that I think having kids is the biggest project of anyone's life, and
it feels like the hardest thing I've done.
It's the hardest one.
Yeah. But when are you joining the club?
Yeah, I am planning. I need to be ready, but you never be ready. So it's something that I want to as well. We want as well with my husband. Hopefully we will join.
Yes, please.
Yeah. That I know. I mean, even like master's, PhD, like all kind of like hardest projects in the world cannot compare.
No. Like I'm sitting in my office. I'm lucky enough. Like I can close the door. I have help, so I'll be like, okay, well, this is great because I don't have to do all the hard stuff. Joking. No, I love spending time with my baby, but it is very hard. It's definitely the hardest thing that I've done.
Yeah.
But there's a feeling like kind of maybe getting out of the weeds in a couple of years. I don't know. But I don't know what's coming up next because it's the first one and I have no idea. So kind of just like, being grateful to what's coming up next, being happy, doing what you love, and stay fulfilled and share this happiness with others. Like that's kind of the mindset I'm at right now.
Wonderful. Yeah. I hope all your dreams and hopes come true. And I believe that it is possible with your passion, with your consistency, discipline, with your vision and driven. It's just amazing. And you have everything to be successful.
You're so sweet. I'm blushing.
I'm seeing you like in the next 5 years, you will be like a big founder with having a big business. So I'm sure it's coming. So thank you so much for your time. I have one last question. I got this from Diary CEO, or CEO Diary, from Steven. It's like, what's the one question you would love to ask our next guest?
Ooh. Okay. Well, my question would be, do you think that the United States is still the land of opportunity? Or right now, maybe times has changed and you would move to another country and still be as successful as you are now?
Love that. It was wonderful. I loved this conversation. I would love to continue this sometime in the future. Maybe we will be in a different stage. Maybe we will talk about different topic. And what I loved about today, that we were able to cover the things that helped you in the past, the things that helping you right now, and your recommendations for women in corporate America, and not just corporate America, the women who want to succeed in anything what they do, right? It's not just, it's maybe own business, being a founder or being a mom. Like you need to just continue moving forward and never give up. That will
Yeah,
be.
well, that's the mindset thing. Yeah, for sure. Mindset, and it comes from loving, accepting yourself, who you are, and then deciding like what is good for you and good for your family. Thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you always.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for our listeners. Thank you so much that you tune in and you listen till this time. I hope you enjoyed. And don't forget, follow and subscribe us. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.